Okay, picture this. You're trying to set up direct deposit for your new job, or maybe you're rushing to pay an urgent bill online, and bam, you are stopped dead in your tracks. Why? Because you don't know your bank's routing number. It is so incredibly frustrating, right? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a crucial digital key for your financial life, finding your Charles Schwab routing number online. We're going to completely demystify this whole process for you right now. Because look, a missing or incorrect 9-digit number can literally stall your transactions, bounce your paychecks, and leave your important bills unpaid. When you're transferring funds, the automated clearing networks, yeah, they are unforgiving. If that number is off by even 1 digit, the network just rejects the credit and bounces the money right back. And that is exactly why having your correct Charles Schwab routing number on hand is absolutely essential for seamless banking.
So, we're going to solve this step by step today. We'll start with what a routing number actually is, then look at finding your number online, alternative ways to find it, when to use which number, troubleshooting and pro tips, and finally, keeping your banking details safe.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, what is a routing number?
Think of the ABA routing transit number as a kind of VIP pass. It specifically identifies your bank within the massive United States banking ecosystem. It was actually created way back in 1910 by the American Bankers Association, and this 9-digit code is entirely public. It just makes sure your money gets routed to the correct financial institution. Honestly, it's basically the banking equivalent of a zip code. Which brings us to the most important number you need to know today, 112-102211. This is the primary routing number for Charles Schwab Bank. And what's really fantastic here is that this single number is valid across all U.S. states for standard ACH transfers, direct deposits, and domestic wires. Oh, and here's a fun fact from our sources. That 1212 prefix, it actually ties back to the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, which represents Schwab's historic roots.
Moving right along to Section 2, finding your number online.
If you're using the Schwab mobile app, the process is super straightforward. You literally just tap the little hamburger menu in the top left corner, hit routing numbers, and select your account from the blue dropdown at the top. But quick heads up, a slightly quirky detail our sources pointed out is that Schwab displays a 17-digit number here. Your actual account number is just the last 8 digits of that long string, so definitely keep your eyes on the very end of that number.
Now, if you prefer using the desktop website, you've got a couple of really easy paths. You can quickly locate your details by clicking the little profile icon, the one that looks like a little person, up in the top right corner, and then navigating to account settings. Or, right on your main dashboard, you can just click the 3 vertical dots next to your checking account and select routing numbers from that drop-down menu. Either way, both paths get you to exactly the same vital information.
Okay, Section 3, alternative ways to find it.
Let's say you can't log in right now. Well, you can always find your routing number on the bottom left of your physical Schwab checks. It's always those first 9 digits printed there. You can also review a recent monthly e-statement, look up Charles Schwab directly on the official Federal Reserve directory online, or, just do it the old-fashioned way and call customer support securely at 877-824-5625. They are literally always there to help you out.
All right, let's dive into Section 4. When to use routing numbers. So you'll use that primary 1212022211 number we talked about for all your standard domestic ACH transfers. Think setting up your payroll direct deposit or paying your monthly utility bills. ACH is fantastic because it's processed in same-day batches and usually has low or no fees. But, and this is a big but, you absolutely must switch to the routing number 122-487695 if you are receiving an international wire transfer. And remember, international wires also require a SWIFT or BIC code to cross borders, so you're going to need both of those ready to go.
That brings us to Section 5, troubleshooting and pro tips.
Okay, so if you've ever been a bit confused trying to figure all this out, it is completely normal. And here's why. Charles Schwab operates separate architectures for trading and for banking. Charles Schwab & Co. is a broker-dealer protected by SIPC, while Charles Schwab Bank is a regular depository bank. So because brokerage accounts aren't native bank accounts, they don't inherently have their own ABA routing numbers. Instead, they rely on complex intermediary banking relationships just to process your electronic transfers.
Which brings us to a really major pain point. If you have check writing privileges enabled on your brokerage account but literally cannot find the account number online, you are not alone in this frustration. It is a known, kind of annoying quirk of their digital system. To actually make these brokerage features work, Schwab uses specific clearing agents. For example, if you're setting up direct deposits or pushing ACH transfers to your brokerage, it actually routes through JP Morgan Chase using routing number 071000013. But if you are utilizing brokerage check writing or electronic funds transfers, the clearing agent is BNY Mellon using a totally different routing number, 031100157. That is two completely different banks handling the back end of your single Schwab account.
So how do you handle this? Well, here is our best pro tip of the day, the MICR line trick. Because that BNY Mellon checking account number is often totally hidden from your online dashboard, your absolute best workaround is to physically look at the MICR line on your printed Schwab One checkbook. Honestly, it's pretty much the only reliable place to find it. Once you have your checkbook in hand, just look down at the bottom left. Boom, that's your hidden number. Let's wrap things up with Section 6, keeping banking details safe. We always want to prioritize security. If you ever need support online, only share your details through Schwab's authenticated secure chat while you're logged in. And keep in mind, support usually only needs the last 3 or 4 digits to verify it's you anyway. For those hard-to-find BNY Mellon numbers we just talked about, a great idea is to archive them in an encrypted credential manager so you don't have to hunt for your checkbook the next time. And lastly, always double-check everything before sending a wire transfer. Unlike ACH, wire transfers are almost always final and entirely irreversible.
So, by understanding Schwab's uniquely divided ecosystem between banking and brokerage, and knowing exactly where to click online or when to just give up and look at your physical checkbook, you now have the exact digital keys to keep your financial life moving flawlessly. No more bounce transactions, no more delayed payroll, and definitely no more guessing which clearing bank handles your specific transfer. As a quick wrap-up, please remember that the information provided in this explainer is for general informational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. Always verify your specific routing and banking details directly through official Charles Schwab sources before initiating any transactions. Now that you know exactly how the back end of your bank operates, it kind of makes you wonder, right? How many other digital systems are you blindly trusting without knowing the keys? Thanks so much for exploring this with us today.